Hello, I am Lolly, and today we are going to work on our December daily for this year. Now, this is part of a small series, and so I will give you a link in the description box. It will have all the information, the links, and everything you need to know, and it will have all of the videos in the playlist listed there. So, first off, we do have, this is my fun tray. Now, these are trays from the We Are Makers project cart. I love it. It's perfect for me because I tend to have 3 or 4 projects going all at the same time. So now I can work on this and then just take this tray and put it back on the rack for when I'm working on the next project. So this is the set that we're using. This is available in my shop. It's Graphic 45 Deck the Halls. Now I had this in plastic because I took it to Hobby Lobby to try and find extra cardstock that would be this color. And I bombed out, frankly. First of all, I had gone through my own stash. I thought, why don't I just go through my stash? And I found this. It's ivory white. This is from Nuvo. And then I have Sugar Crystal Glitter Card, Candy Red Classic, French Blue Classic. And I had one sheet of this, I think is it Basil? I think it's Basil. One sheet of this blue polka dot, which I love. And then I wanted the actual song Deck the Halls, and I looked online for downloadable, wasn't happy with anything I saw, and didn't trust the website, so I went and ordered it on Etsy. Now, most of the Deck the Halls say Deck the Hall, not the S, and we sing Deck the Halls. So I'm not actually thrilled with how fuzzy this is. So, I mean, I will give you the link to it, but I'm just not thrilled. The whole thing is rather fuzzy, even though it says it's supposed to normally print an 8 by 10. It just didn't come out the way I wanted it. So the reason this is in the bag was to protect this when I went to the store, but there's another reason, and that's that in going through my stash, if you have done December Daily with me before, you know that there have been other downloads that I have given. And I print these little expressions and sentiments that I can use. But every year I also give you these, which are numbers, 1-inch numbers in circles and squares that you can print. And you can print them out in any color you want. White, as you see here. White, red, green, blue, whatever color cardstock you have. And so then I use a few, and then I still have these left over. So I save them, pull them out, and I can use them again. So that's what I'm going to do. And I will give you your download underneath this video. So that's what we have, and all these sentiments. So this bag is kind of keeping them lined up. Now, I love this color green. I don't know what it is, but I couldn't find anything at Hobby Lobby to match it, and I don't want to use it unless I can match that green. You see, it's a little darker. Well, actually, this is darker than that. I might have something that color. Anyway, there we have it. So what we're going to do today is just go ahead and do our cover. And I just went through and pulled out some of my fun Christmas decorations that I have accumulated. This is the ephemera that comes in the kit you get from me. And if you want to use a corner rounder, you can on your pages. Feel free to use your distress inks to distress the edges of any of your papers. This is yours. Make it what you want. This is your time to create a fun memory keeping system. So for what I like to do is find the favorite one that I want for a cover. Sometimes I have waited and decorated my cover last. But I want to start with a cover, and I love this. I love this. Ooh, love it. Okay, so I am doing this year 4x6 pages, and when you're doing this one doesn't seem to have any right way. So I'm just looking, and I think I want to carry, well, it won't really matter too much, I think. Ooh, I think I want it this way. And of course, we save all these because we can get, this is 4x6, we can get 2 of our actual pages out of this. And we have this for decorating and for making our pockets or whatever, our accents. So I am using a 2-hole punch, but I will give you a punch guide, a hole guide download so that you can go ahead, and I have this set at 6, I do. Now I am doing mine landscape this year. My rings are going to be on the top. Sometimes, I do usually books like this, but I'm doing it this way. And I have already pre-cut a piece of Duralar, so I want to do that as well. And this is going to be my protection over there. I just think it's going to bring a little more accent to what I'm doing. And I'm thinking about, do I want to round my corners? And I think I do. I'm just using the small here. Now this is a pretty thick sheet of Duralar. We'll see how this works. Ooh, that's really hard. So I would recommend you probably use your crocodile corner rounder, but it is cutting through. I like this one because it has a small, medium, and large corner rounder on it. Now, you do not have to use acetate or Duralar to, this could just be your cover instead of having this dual layer thing that I'm doing. But if this is going to be your cover, I would put hole reinforcers on it, like these, where you can cut out your holes reinforcers and put them on there. Or you could put eyelets in it, and that would protect the cover. And I think what I will do eventually is to cut out some of these with dies and still reinforce the holes just to protect it. Okay, so what I want to do is go through, and first of all, I noticed that there are some things like that. I love these as well, but what I want there it is. This is what I want for the cover right there. Let's cut that off camera. Perfect. I love it. And I want to offset this because I would like very much for that snowflake to show up. Now, there's not enough depth here. It's getting lost. So what you could do is, if you're not using your acetate, is to put this up on foam tape or use cardboard scraps to put that up. You could distress around the edges, give it a little darker area. What I'm thinking is to glue it here on that. But with doing that, I can also add other things under it. Or I could do it this way. I think I'll do it this way. Okay, let's glue that down. Now, if you are using Duralar, you can use your Barely Art glue on. I'm making sure that beautiful snowflake is shown. And now I have my acetate piece, which is invisible. There it is. So I'm going to put that back over it and line it up so I can see where to put things. And I do love this. This is just, it came in a pack of 6 or 8, and I got it from one of the craft stores. And I think that is actually going to be perfect right there. But I'm wondering about adding some snowflakes like this just to the acetate, just to the Duralar on front. And now that I look at this, I really think these need some glitter. So I may come back and get that a little bit of glitter. I think I will glue this on there. And it is not quite flat, and it's also, it's bumpy. So I want to make sure I use something that will give it a permanent hold. So I'm going to use the Power Tack. This is not a job for hot glue. And then I'm going to take this off and set it aside, but I'm going to put some weight on that off to the side. I think I can just use this. There we go. Now that I have this, what I'm going to do is flip it up, because remember, our rings are going to be up here. Our books are going to open this way. So I don't want to turn it this way. I want to turn it up. And so what we're going to do this time is each one of these pages is going to be a pocket. So that means I need to find another paper that I'm thrilled with. And I could always use, let me see. I love candy canes. I'm just so partial to it. Let me think. I am going to use this one. Oh, and I'm going to have to use my corner rounder again. So let's do that. Small. And I'm going to have to use this. Okay, this is the writing is this way, so the holes go on the bottom. Ooh, almost caught myself. Okay. Alrighty. So this is the way it's going to go. But as a pocket, it's going to be very hard to put anything in there. You can always trim off a little sliver of the paper right here. And I think I will do that because I really want some of that paper to show through. So this is 6 inches. Now notice that I did get my holes here before I trimmed this off, because now that it's not 6 inches anymore, you're going to have a hard time getting your holes in. So get the holes in first before trimming that. Now you see how perfect that is, and you see that blue underneath there, but one more thing, and that's the thumb notch. And this is a 1.5 inch punch. I'm just eyeballing it. I don't really care that it's centered, because if I get too crazy worrying about everything, then I'm not going to get the project done. Okay. Now on this, we're just going to glue top, left, and bottom. You can glue around the holes here if you wish. Now, I like to put a big acrylic block on there just to hold it. So now I need to think about this. And this pocket, it's at least going to be day 1, but it could also be day 1 and 2. So we need to get that figured out. So one of the things I thought about, let me get my 1-inch circle. Okay, this is going to be cute. So on the front, I am going to want it to say 2025 somewhere. So one of the things we could do is use our scraps like this one, or flip it over and cut one of these out. And that will be our place to write 2025. And I would write it down before gluing it on here, because if I don't like what I wrote, I can't pull it off very easily. 2025. Okay, so that is going to go here, and I'm just going to glue the top part. Okay, now when I flip that up, now I need to put something on the back side, and that's going to be number 1. I would prefer a red number 1, but I can't find one, so I'm going to use the white. And now when we glue this, we glue the whole thing, and we have day 1 right there. But we need to decorate this, don't we? So let's do that. And again, if you're going to put hole reinforcers on here with the paper, make sure you glue your pocket on first. And please do use liquid glue when you're gluing your pocket. See how this is? It can slide in there. But if you use a tape runner, it will always be gummy and your items will stick on the inside. So there's that. And this is still setting up. But let's look at our supplies. That is really nice. You see how I can put this white strip on there and it can give me a new focal point. It's a little large, so that's about 4¼ inches, but I think I'm going to round these here, the 2 that you're going to see. You're not going to see these 2 because this will cover those up, but I think that is really great. Now, again, you can distress around here, or here's a piece of our scrap, and look how that just really brightens it up. I think I'm going to glue that on there. And we will glue this down. Oh, that's so pretty. Now you can write something on here. You can add a sentiment. Too much. I want something more horizontal there. So if you have any Christmas sentiments, stamps that you have, go ahead and be getting those out. Now there's another one that can be saved for Christmas Day. Well, that's cute. not seeing that many actual sentiments. So what I'm going to do is use one of the ones I just printed on my printer. See how these work really well. I'm not particular about how I cut these out. You can cut them out on your trimmer. I like 'Tis the Season. I like giving these an organic look, so I'm just, and really now that I'm looking at this, I should be cutting these out with bigger scissors here. If you have issues with cutting straight, then just glue that on there crooked so that it looks intentional, because it kind of gives it a vintage look. So now we have day one, and let's do this. And there we go. So these are going to be great tabs too throughout this whole project. So there we have it, day one, 2025, day one right there. And it's a pocket to hold whatever memory keepings you have. You could, a part of a Christmas card you get, a recipe, ticket stubs, or just some sentiment that you write down. But there you have it. I look forward to you joining on this journey as we put this whole thing together.